Welcome to the audio recording studio. So in this room we will be doing what the studio is called, recording audio. So we've got our setup here is where you're going to be recording using Pro Tools or whatever other tool that you might have access to, but Pro Tools is currently what we're using on to record here. Over here is our recording booth where you go in and do some Foley sound recording or do some voiceovers, that kind of stuff. In here, what we need to be aware of is the setup is this computer, this iMac, is an iMac, that's the computer, whereas this is just a screen, even though they look very similar. That's the computer, that's the screen. And this is another duplicate screen, so these two are being mirrored. So if you want the person in the recording booth to be able to see what you're working on, you just make sure to move your things from this screen over into here so that they can see you. We've got two decent speakers and a talkback microphone so that you could talk to whoever's in there. And we've got a USB interface which will let you choose what the volumes of the microphones are and things like that, which we'll get into very soon. So to log into this machine, you want to use the logins of either local user or local admin. The password is password with $signs, so $WORD. So this is our USB interface. You can see over here is our channel 1 and channel 2. These are our inputs, these are our microphones. So this is microphone 1, microphone 2. Microphone 1 is the one that's in the studio. The recording booth, and microphone 2 is the one that's here. That's why it can hear me, because we're in here. So usually I just have these around your 70% mark and just leave them. But if you're recording something that's really high or really low, you might want to bring this one up or down a tad. Over here is the speakers in this room. So if we want to be listening to our speakers, what volume do we have? Usually you want to have this on a specific number, like let's say your 12 o'clock area, and then just leave it as that. We also have headphones, headphones A and headphones B. I always forget which one's which. One of them's for this room inside here, one of them's for the room inside there. Usually we just have these also around your at 7 mark. Over here we have the monitor mix. The monitor mix is what are we listening to? So are we listening to the microphone straight from the cable of the microphone cables, or are we listening to whatever Pro Tools is giving us at USB? So when this is on USB, we're listening to Pro Tools or whatever the computer's plugged into. When we're listening to input, we're listening straight to the input of the clean mics. So I like to always make sure I have the clean microphone audio because I don't know what Pro Tools is giving me. It might get, just reduces any kind of variables. So I like to record with this on input. Now, before you put this on input, if I had it on input, then that's going to activate, we're going to be listening to microphone 2. So if that happens, if we're listening to microphone 2, what you might get is a feedback loop where microphone 2 will, let me show you. Microphone 2 will, the audio would go through there, come out of there, go through there, come out of there, and just create this feedback loop, which could be just a loud noise. So I like to always turn this off, completely off, when this goes onto input. You don't have to do that, but there's a big chance you might get a loud noise. So before I turn this to input, I like to just put the volume down and then put this all the way to input. Now, you're going to make the mistake for sure, and so it's not that big of a deal. It's just something that, hurt my ears once, so now I'm really careful about it. So this would be now in recording mode. We can record. The audio will not be heard through the speakers, so you probably want to be listening through the headphones at this point. And then once you're done recording, then you can take this back to USB, take this up, and then you can hear it through the speakers. All right, now we're going to dive into this room. So in this room, usually you have a microphone and maybe you could see I've got some items that I'm making sounds with. We've got other items that we can make sounds with in the corner over there. If you have any questions on how to use this stuff, just contact your technical officer, which is probably me. and I will talk you through how to use all this stuff. So we have two microphones that you could use. One of them over here is a shotgun mic, which is very directional. It's really good for Foley, could be used for dialogue as well. And this microphone over here can be used for singing, music, and also dialogue if you want as well. Okay, so you'll notice that we also have headphones, and they're all plugged into this wall so that we could close this door without any cables through the door. Now you can see we do have a mouse there. That's if you're recording just one person. We have an extension cable for a mouse. We're upgrading that soon with a wireless mouse, which you should be able to find either here or inside there somewhere. Okay, so here's an example of what you would do if you want to record grass walking. What you'd do is you'd put on the headphones, close the door. Let me close that door. Close the door so you're not getting audio from the other room. You put on your headphones, and the person inside the recording room will get Pro Tools ready and start recording for you. And they'll play a video through that screen so you could be able to watch the video if you're doing Foley. But if you're doing audio like dialogue, then you of course don't need this. I over here have placed some tape on top of a blanket. The blanket is to muffle out the hard sounds of the carpet, that thudding, and the tape will give me that grass sound. I noticed that if you put in a lot of tape, it sounds like leaves, like lots of dry leaves. If it's just a little bit, it sounds like some grass. Okay, so what you do is you place the microphone so that it's pointed as close as whatever you're recording. So of course, if you're recording dialogue, you'd have it pointed upwards. And then you would just get your person on the other side to start recording. You could do this with yourself with a mouse. It's a lot harder, of course, so it's better to work in pairs. And then you could just make your sounds. And that's kind of what it looks like.